Hello, Emily. Before we begin, I just want to inform you a little bit about this session. First, your session today will last about 10 minutes. If you were to come back for continued sessions, my rates are $20 for 50 minutes. And I want you to feel safe and know that this is completely confidential and that I'm here to answer any questions you may have. So now, what did you wish to discuss with me today?
Recently, my family has gone through a transition where my dad met his birth mother, and I'm just trying to, how to identify with this, new family member.
Okay, so how did this come about?
My dad was adopted as a newborn, and about 5 years ago, he, was not interested, in meeting her, but interested in, finding out medical information just for me and my sister's benefit. And then a couple months after that information came to our house, a letter from the adoption agency said that his birth mother was out there and wanting to meet him, and he denied the request and said that he just didn't feel like it was the right time. He didn't want his adoptive parents to be her, or and I think inside he didn't want to be her as well, because he didn't know if she was living a good life, or if she was incarcerated or on drug, just didn't know what her situation was.
Okay, so is your dad in contact with her now?
Yes. So this past November, he just sort of had this feeling where hey, there's a missing link in my family. My daughters are just curious about where I came from, and so he took the step and wrote a letter to the adoption agency and stated that, hey, I am willing to meet her, or not meet her because he didn't know if he wanted to meet her at that time, but get to know her more through letters or phone calls, and then if it all felt right, then they would take the next step into meeting each other in person. So he sent that letter in November, December, and then in February he received his first handwritten letter from his mother, and it just basically explained hey, you were never forgotten. I always thought about you on Christmas, on Easter, especially on your birthday. You never went without knowing that I loved you. And then also went into detail about, she said that his original name was Michael, that he was born on September 28th. And obviously that his name is not Michael. His name is Scott, which is what his parents named him. At the orphanage, he didn't have a name, so he didn't know his name was Michael. And then she also said that she had another son who was born in 1967 that she also gave up for adoption, so he has a half-brother out there. And she didn't really give much information about the birth father, other than it was her high school fling at the time. But she didn't really love him, love the boyfriend enough to keep the baby and raise it in a stable father-mother relationship.
Okay, so you seem to be just filled with joy that she finally reached out to your dad, and that relationship is just being reconnected. But you also seem to feel nervous and unsure about how your dad would handle that relationship. Is that how you're feeling?
Yes, in the beginning I would text my dad, I'm praying for you during this process. I know there can be cans of worms that can open and might hurt your feelings. And then when my dad, well, it wasn't actually my dad, my mom called me one evening just to chit chat, and then she was like, oh, by the way, we're going up to Michigan, and while we're there, we are going to meet Judy, who is my dad's birth mother. And I was like, wow, that's so exciting. How's Dad feeling? And she said, Dad's really excited to meet her and like get to know her. So February 29th is when they drove up to a northern suburb of Detroit where she lives, and they met with each other for like 3 hours at her home and like exchanged photos, stories, and just like stuff that has been like missing like throughout each other's lives. And like,
so how are you feeling like when your dad was like going up to like meet her? Were there any feelings of like nervousness or like uneasy of like how your dad would like, what would happen with that relationship? Or
okay, so the night before I like prayed about it, and I was like just saying, God, just like lead my dad like into a place of like happiness, or like or like don't be nervous, because like through like writing like the letters that they were sending to each other, it was like all like happy like letters. So there was like no hate between the two of them. So like I was like excited for that, but I was nervous as to like if it was ever gonna be like awkward moments.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was I was excited, but I was also nervous because like they could meet each other, but then like not really want to have a relationship afterwards. But in this case, like it's been nothing but like I want to talk to you like on the phone. I want to like see you in person more often. I want my daughters. I want my daughters to meet you. I want to meet like other like members of your family and stuff like that.
So once he went to meet her, how did that encounter? Just like talk me through that encounter of like what their first interactions were like and what happened during that trip.
Okay, so after they were done meeting with Judy, they called me and just like tell me like how it went, and I became really emotional because I didn't expect it to go as well as it did. And Judy like said that she's felt like she's been a grandma like for like the latter part of her life so far, and that she's so excited that she has 3 grandchildren, and that she's just like excited to like extend her family like into like my dad's and I's family. And then but my dad never cried while he was there, and she never cried at all. They just like sort of like hugged, and it was like just like I don't know. I can't really explain it like in full detail because I wasn't there. But they just like, it was very natural. Like my dad was happy the entire time, and like she was like smiling the entire time, and she calls like our house regularly and like is so happy to like talk to them and stuff like that.
So it seems like you feel that like your family is just like finally becoming like complete, and that these puzzle pieces are just like coming together. Is that how you're feeling?
Oh yes, most definitely.
Okay. So Emma, we have 2 more minutes left, and I just want to close by just asking you how if you're going to continue with the relationship, and just like how, like if you're planning on seeing her at any time soon, or if you have any concerns about that.
Oh yes, my mom and dad are actually traveling to Michigan this coming weekend for Easter to visit with her, and my mom extended the invitation to my sisters and I, but I just don't think I'll be able to make the trip because it's 9 hours away, and I don't want to spend more time with her just to get to know her.
Yeah.
Rather than like have it be, rushed and that sort of thing. But I do plan on meeting with her soon, hopefully in May when school gets out.
Yeah. And it just seems like you're a little unsure of like what the like how your relationship will be identified with her. Is that how you're feeling?
Yes, I think in the beginning, like, we'll be more of, like getting to know friendship, like, having a friendship with her before I, like, really, like, feel like I have, like, that grandmother granddaughter bond.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like I do like refer to her as like Grandma Judy, she's like that's like her name, like her title that we've given her because she technically is my grandmother, but like we haven't formed that bond as grandmother and granddaughter.
Okay, so as our session's coming to a close, I just want to end this with like a summary of what we talked about today. So we just talked about how your dad just received this letter from his biological mom, and at first you were just like overcome with joy, and then you just became just like a little bit nervous and unsure of like the nature of the relationship and how like your dad would take that, and then like once he met her, it just felt like your family was just finally becoming like complete, and then now you're just like faced with this like decision of whether like you're gonna like extend their like that relationship and like continue to grow, and I just think that we're in like a good place, and I just want you to know that if we want to like continue talking about this, we can schedule consecutive sessions. But right now, I think that's it.
Great. Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah, thank you.